My first kiss, I was a sophomore in high school. I was a sophomore, she was a senior. Citizen, she was my grandma's friend. And we made out. I was a sophomore, she was a senior. We were dating. I knew our relationship wasn't going to work because she didn't realize that I was a sophomore until a month into us dating. A month in, she looks at me and she's like, "You're not a senior?" And I was like, "Uh-oh." Like I just got caught in a lie I didn't know I was telling. Isn't that weird when you think somebody knows you really well and then they act surprised by a fact about you? Like every 2 years growing up, my dad would look at me and be like, "I didn't know you were left-handed." And I'd be like, "Where have you been?" So I'm a sophomore, she's a senior. We go see a movie on our first date as a couple. Neither of us could drive, so both of us had to be dropped off by our parents to go see the movie. Afterwards, we're standing outside waiting for our parents to pick us up. I have my arm around her, just one. I'm not like restraining her, like, "Stay here!" She wanted to be there. I had my arm around her, and I didn't want to kiss her yet, because I still had braces for one more week, and I didn't know how kissing worked. I was afraid if I did it wrong, I'd like rip her lips off or something. But then she turned to me, and she started to lean in for a kiss. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess this is..." In my head, I'm not like out loud like, "Oh boy, you sure are close." But we lean in, and we kiss each other, obviously. And then as we were pulling away from our first kiss, I think to myself, wow, this is a big deal. This is my first kiss ever. This is our first kiss as a couple. I should say something right now. I should say something romantic. So I open my mouth and I say, "Well, that takes care of that." Why? That's not romantic. That's like we just mowed the yard together. Just like, "See you later, pal." That was our first kiss. I found out later it was actually her first kiss also. Neither of us had ever kissed before, so obviously neither of us had ever French kissed before. That'd be weird if you did one before the other. Your lips don't touch and your tongue's just slapping it up. Neither of us knew what we were doing. Eventually we did French kiss, and neither of us had any idea what we were doing. You know that tongues are involved, but you're just like, you don't know what they're doing, what's going on in there. It's all behind closed doors. So I didn't know, and I feel like she really didn't know. The first time that we ever French kissed, here is what she did. She opened her mouth very wide. She stuck her tongue out into my mouth. The end. She just left it there. Just like a dead fish on your front porch. And I was sitting there like, I don't think this is right. But she thought that I was into it because my job was then to push her tongue back into her mouth with my tongue. And then she'd go, "Here you go." And I'd go, "No, thank you." And she'd say, "Special delivery." And I'd say, "Return to sender." And we did that for 5 minutes straight. And then as we're pulling away from our first French kiss, I'm very confused. I'm covered in drool. And she looks at me and she says, "We'll work on that." Like I was doing something wrong.